Hi everyone and welcome, I'm Mr. S and I'm a primary school teacher, here to help with some of the tricky things. Now today we're going to be looking at using the bus stop method to help with our division. And I'm going to tell you straight away that the key is to know your times tables. If you don't know your times tables well, then that's fine. You can get a times tables grid like this one here, or you can sit and count and write them down on the side before you start each of the questions. In fact, I've already done that for the questions we're going to look at today together. Let's give it a go. Now, as I said, I've written my times tables down the side here. So my first question is 72 divided by 3, and I've put my 3 times tables down the side. If I need to work out more, then I can add more afterwards below. Now, as we're using the bus stop for this, the first step is to draw our bus stop. And as our question is 72 divided by 3, we're going to put 72 on the inside of the bus stop and 3 on the outside. Now, I like to remember this, that the big number always goes inside the bus stop. It's under the shelter because it's staying outside of the rain. It's the big one and he's more controlling and he's making sure that he's under the bus stop shelter. But the little number stays outside. The big number has kicked him out outside the bus stop, so he's out in the rain getting wet. And to use this method, we're basically going to try and understand how many times does our little number on the outside stay in our big number that's on the inside. So our first step is to see how many times does 3 go into 7 here. So I'm going to count in 3s until I get to 7. I can use my times tables that I've written on the side. We've got 1, 2 times, because the next one here, our 9, is too big. So it's only 2 times. So 3 goes into 7 2 times. What was that 2 times? It was 6. How many more do I need to get from 6 to 7 here? That tells me how many is left over. Well, between 6 and 7, there's just one more. I'm going to put that 1 in this gap here, okay? So you put it just after the number we've already divided by and before the next one. Now I'm going to group those together. In my mind, I've now got 1 and 2 together, which is a 12, okay? So I'm looking at how many times does 3 go into 12? Well, let's try this again. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So I'm going to put a 4 up there. Was there any left over between 12 and 12? No, it fitted perfectly. So my answer here is 24. Okay, now let's try this second question I've got over here. 134 divided by 4. I've already put some of my 4 times tables down the outside. As I said before, if you would like to also get out your times tables grid, then that's also absolutely fine. The first step is to draw my bus stop here. And remember, which number goes inside the bus stop and which goes outside? That's it. The big number goes inside the bus stop and the smaller number goes outside. Now, if you are struggling with division, I'll pay attention to this one because this one steps it up a little bit more to a slightly trickier level. So the first step is to see how many times does 4 go into 1. Be careful here. I see lots of people making the mistake where they put 1 into 4, but it's not that way around. We need to find how many times does 4 go into 1. And 4 is bigger than 1. If I go onto my times tables over here, 4 is already higher than 1, okay? So I already need 0. 4 does not fit inside 1. That means I can carry him across, and I've now got 13 altogether. Or if you want, you can put the 1 up here instead, and I've got 13 together. So now I need to work out how many times does 4 go into 13. Let's count on the side. 1, 2, 3 times, because the next one is too big. So 4 goes into 13. 3 times. What is the difference between the 12 and the 13? Well, there's 1 left over between 12 to 13, and I put that one just there. So now I've boxed it up with my 4, and that gives me 14. Now I'm going to look at how many times does 4 go into 14. So let's go down to the side again. I've got 1, 2, 3. I can't go to here because that's too big again. So it only fits in 3 times. But this is where it's a little bit tricky, because those 3 times was 12. It was not 14. So it doesn't fit exactly. That means I've got some left over, or what we call it is we call it a remainder. I'm putting a R for remainder just up here. So how many are left over between 12 and 14? Well, the difference between 12 and 14 is 2. So I've got 2 remainder. My final answer is 33 remainder 2. So remember, the keys to you doing division with the bus stop: have your times tables written out or get a times table grid. Your big number goes inside the bus stop because he's the big bully. Make sure he stays inside. And the little number goes on the outside. And at the end, if it didn't fit in perfectly, then that's okay, because we can have a remainder at the end. Now, I've got a couple of questions down here for you to have a try at too. 96 divided by 3, 152 divided by 6. One of those has no remainder, and one of them has a remainder. Give those a go and let me know in the comments below your answer. I will reply if you've put your answer as well. If you found this video helpful, then please like and subscribe, because it does help my channel to grow. And thanks, and see you in the next one.